Hello, everyone, and welcome live to 3Y TV, tonight's broadcast of the Stay Tuned Sports Monday Night Thunder. Here, I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth for the championship finale is Garrett Gleason. Garrett, a lot on the line here tonight. 150 miles separate us and crowning a series champion, but all eyes will be on the number 50. Bill Edwards has a huge points lead coming into tonight.
Yeah, Peter, Bill pretty much going to run away with this championship. I don't see anything happening that could possibly give someone enough points to pass him. But the name of the game tonight is going to be the score of victory. Get some momentum. If there's going to be a season 2 of the series, which we're hoping to do as a league, get the win, head into next season as one of the favorites. I think that's the goal tonight.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not anyone in the field can track him down. 100 laps, 150 miles between us and the checkered flag here tonight. We see some drivers heading out onto the racetrack here in the qualifying session. The final opportunity this season, Garrett, for these drivers to take part in the Butt Kicker Challenge. The driver who starts on the pole here tonight will have an opportunity to start at the tail end of the field and go for some extra cash, courtesy of our friends over at the Butt Kicker. If you missed out on their Black Friday deals last week, folks, their Cyber Monday deals, you absolutely missed out. Go check out thebuttkicker.com for adding to your sim rig, adding a little bit more realism. But speaking of Butt Kicker is on the side of the number 5 machine in very small print there on the rear quarter panel. But the Sim Shots Racing number 5 of Ben Adams out there on the racetrack, 3Y TV on the back. Of course, tonight is the 3Y television 150 here. 3Y TV originating actually in the Miami area with Mr. Carlos Acosta. Ben Adams gets slideways through turns number 3 and 4.
Yeah, Ben's having a heck of a season, Peter, as far as luck goes, and seeing him sideways is just kind of fitting for the way that number 5 has been all season long. And I'm hoping for Ben's sake he could put together a good run and just finish the season on a high note, as we're looking at another familiar face and a very talented Truck Series competitor in Ben Izinga making his return to the Total Nonstop Racing League here at Homestead.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Izinga with that very good-looking WestJet number 17 Chevy Silverado, top of the board right now. Jamar Dumas, second position out of all of the qualifiers so far. John Cannizzaro just put a lap time in to go second, but just as I say that, he gets pipped by Mitchell Adams, and look who just put himself atop the leaderboard. That is the number 50 of Bill Edwards, but he just got dethroned by his Silent Syndicate Racing teammate, the number 13 of James Lorello. So Lorello in the Stay Tuned Sports podcast with Jimbo Chevy Silverado, currently fastest of all by a healthy margin, might I add. 0.17 of a second. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but in racing that is a heck of a lot. And here is not a familiar face to the Total Nonstop Racing. Well, actually, a familiar face to Total Nonstop Racing. What am I saying? That's Matt White back out here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. Been a while since we last saw Matt out there on the racetrack, sporting that Kevin Harvick / Kevin Harvick Incorporated throwback on that Chevy Silverado, and currently second of all coming out of turn number 4. See if he can pick up a little bit of time. Can he kick James Orello off the pole? And Matt White on lap number 2, not able to pick it up. He will be on the front row at least for now. Great to see him back in the field. And here is the birthday boy. Well, not quite the birthday boy today, but we do want to give a shout out, a belated happy birthday to Bob Giaquinto in the New Jersey 101.5 Chevy Silverado, blasting down the backstretch here at over 170 miles an hour before blasting off into turn number 3. Kyle Zimmer just came around to put in his lap time in the Signarama number 51. Made a great debut a couple weeks back at the Darlington Raceway, currently inside the top 10 in the 9th position. Mitchell Adams, who was up near the board at one point in this qualifying session, he's dropped all the way down to 11th. So Garrett, really seemed like the heavy hitters came out late in this qualifying session.
Yeah, Peter, I don't know why that would be. It's a night race. I don't expect the track temperature to fluctuate that much, but these guys are definitely taking advantage of getting out there late and putting down some really fast laps. That top of the leaderboard was fluctuating there very quickly. As we take a look at another very fast driver in Lupe Gonzalez there, pulling off the track. We'll see what Mitchell Adams has for him here on lap number 2, I believe it is, Peter.
No, I think Mitchell is just out here trying to get some practice laps in his Sim Shots Racing machine. So he's already got both his lap times in. Looks like just be starting outside the top 10 here tonight. Let's go check out the chat here tonight. We really appreciate the chat. Who's been with us all season long here in the Monday Night Thunder series, brought to you by Stay Tuned Sports. Of course, a link to their Podbean is in the description of the video. But Steven Doziak saying Eagles wins, Giants lose this week. I hope for your sake, Garrett, that that's not the case, although I would take an Eagles loss. Stay Tuned Sports saying hello, hello, hello. Tana saying they had a rough go at Thanksgiving. His father-in-law referred to him as the field filler. Oof. Yikes. I think Ben Adams kind of throwing some shade at Andrew Himmelman. Himmelman, who had a respectable qualifying lap time up there in the top half of the field. But now we'll get to find out here whether or not our pole sitter James Lorello will have well, he does have an opportunity, but we'll see whether or not Lorello decides to start this race from the back of the field and participate in the butt kicker challenge.
Yeah, why not, Peter? Come on, James. Just take the butt kicker challenge. Go to the back. Give us something to watch. Give butt kicker something to be proud of. There's really no reason to just start up front and to have no fun tonight. Do what Jason Graphix normally does. Go to the back and you'll have a blast.
Well, let's find out. James Lorello, Peter Short, 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
I'll tell you what, one heck of a qualifying lap time for you and that number 13 Chevy Silverado. It's the last opportunity of the season to go for the butt kicker challenge. Will we see you take part? It's a pretty big field here tonight, but a lot on the line to get some extra cash in your pocket.
You know I will. Last race of the season. Let's do it.
All right, well, there you have it. That number 13 machine right there going for the butt kicker challenge. Going to try and pick up some extra cash, courtesy of our friends over at thebuttkicker.com. James, before we let you go, what do you think the keys to tonight's race are from your perspective, especially now starting at the back of the field?
Yeah, you're going to have to be patient, and tire management's going to be key. You could really burn them up. So hopefully I can work my way to the front.
Well, we've definitely been seeing a couple of drivers struggle with grip out there, especially on corner exit. How's the truck driving here tonight? What do you expect to see from the driver's seat?
Yeah, it can definitely just get very loose on exit if you're not easy on the throttle. So I expect a couple guys to lose it tonight on that, but if you can hang on to it, it'll be a fun one.
All right, well, definitely going to be a lot of fun from up here in the booth, and we'll be keeping our eyes on you participating in the buttkicker.com challenge. Good luck here tonight, James.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, we'll let James Lorello get situated for the drop of the green flag here in just a little bit. But Garrett, great to see that he is indeed participating in the butt kicker challenge here tonight.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to hear that, and I really appreciate James doing that for us. And James is a good guy, and we're going to wish him luck here as he goes through the field. It'll be fun to watch, that's for sure, Peter.
Absolutely. There is the number 70, Matt White, fastest of all here in this warm-up session. Just about 30 seconds left until this warm-up session sees the checkered flag, and we'll move over into the race session here in a little bit. But I'm expecting good things out of Matt White here tonight. Garrett, we know he's a really fast race car driver here in the iRacing.com simulator. I mean, he's been fast going back many, many years in simulators. He's coming onto pit road right now in the GM Goodwrench Chevy. So we'll keep our eyes on Matt White here tonight. He will be up there. And in fact, with James Lorello going to the back of the field, he will, although still start on the front row, he will be the fastest of the drivers on the front row in that number 70 machine when it is the drop of the green flag. We're now over into the race session here, Garrett, and let's see if we can go through tonight's starting lineup for the season finale, the 3YTV Championship night here in the Stay Tuned Sports Monday Night Thunder Series. That's not the front row. Apologize about that, folks. James Lorello picked up the pole. However, Lorello will be dropping to the tail end of the field to participate in the butt kicker challenge, so he will drop all the way from first back to 27th here tonight, assuming everyone does take the green flag. Matt White in the number 70. Great to see him back in the league. Like I said, he'll be starting second. Bill Edwards, most likely the series champion at the end of the night, has a significant points lead entering the show. He's starting exactly where he wanted to be up there inside the top 5 in third. Kevin Stone, good qualifying lap time for the number 77. He will roll off on the outside of row number 2. Ben Izenga, JD Laird, 2 drivers I think we're going to have to keep our eyes on here tonight. Garrett, very, very fast. Laird was one of the fastest in the practice session. So keep our eyes on the 5th and 6th place drivers here tonight. Mike Floppy-Telly or Andrew Himmelman will make up row number 4. Andrew Himmelman calling his own number in qualifying in 8th. Kyle Zimmer and Jamar Dumas rounding out our top 10, G.
Peter might be done with the top 10, but these guys starting in the next row, Mitchell Adams and Alonzo Chicano, definitely guys that are capable of winning this race, rolling off 11th and 12th. The wild child, John Cannizzaro, will start this race in 13th. Alongside him on the outside is Ninja Phillip Scott, coming off his first NSRA win on Friday. Starting in 15th, we have Lupe Gonzalez in the 35, and our good friend in 3-wide TV zone, Bob Giaquinto, in the 23. Fernando Matos will roll off in 17th, and alongside him is series director and field filler, according to his family, Ben Adams. Johnny Williams starts inside the top 20 in 19th, and Tristan Thuggy Maher rounds out your top 20, Peter.
And just got that yawn in just in time. Jason Gracias will be starting in 21st here tonight. Stephen Doziak alongside him 22nd. Vincent Valvano, Brian Bradley on row number 12. And just taking you through the rest of the field here tonight, Justin White, Stephen Kegman, and Jason Shue. Green flag is in the flagman's hand. We're getting set to go green flag here for 100 laps, 150 miles for the final time in the Monday Night Thunder. So let's hear the Thunder War once more here at Homestead, Miami. We're green flag for the final time this season.
Yeah, here they go, Peter, down the turn 1. We should see guys taking a variety of grooves here, but I'm hoping they let their tires at least get up the temperature before they try to do anything crazy. But Floppy's looking to that third lane, as we would call it on a normal racetrack, Peter. Let's see what he has for them.
On board with driver of the number 70, that's Matt White, looking out front at the battle for the race lead. Ben Izenga now to the inside of Bill Edwards. Can Izenga take away that lap lead from the points leader? Yes, he does. And oh no! Oh, well, I thought he did, but he lost control of the truck. We got another truck going around in the back. That's the number 95, and big accident in the back of the pack. That's going to put us under caution flag for the first time here tonight, and it is absolute carnage here on the front stretch.
Well, Peter, that's what we were trying to avoid here. We had a little speech pre-race. So guys, take it easy out there. We can put on a good race, and it looks like this track with these cold tires just wasn't willing to cooperate with that. We had the good save at the front of the field, and Alonzo Chicano here at the rear of the field did everything he could to lock that truck down, and unfortunately, there's just not enough racetrack for those guys to avoid him, it looks like, Peter. And we're going to have a lot of collateral damage. Vincent Valvano's in there. I believe that's Johnny Williams, Bradley, and potentially some other guys. Looks like Lorello, Gracias, Kegman are going to get through, but what a disappointment there, Peter.
Yeah, the number 60 there of Bradley involved, Brian Bradley, that is. Let's see if we can get another look at this from onboard with Johnny Williams. Looking out front, a new look on Johnny Williams' truck this week. There you see Alonso Chicano going down. Really nowhere for Johnny to go. Gets shot back up the racetrack straight into the number 64, Vincent Valvano. Valvano really nowhere to go. A couple of the other trucks grinding to a halt there. Let's get another look on board, maybe with the number 1 machine. This is Jason Gracias, the driver going for the butt kicker shootout right in front of him. That is James Lorello in the number 13. Let's see if Lorello is able to squeak on through this. My, getting on the brakes, and Garrett, that was one heck of a good job by the number 1 of Gracias, just to kind of grind to a halt. It's still early in the race. You don't want to get all tore up like that. And he's able to get it all wound up and stopped to avoid any further accident. Let's see what happened here to Vincent Valvano. This is on board with the number 60 of Brian Bradley. And the 64, sure enough, almost got launched. I might have gotten launched all 4 wheels off the ground.
Yeah, he has not had very good luck this season either, Peter, in that number 60. And again, it's just such a heartbreaker. You look forward to this race probably all day today, and you don't even get to make a lap before you're pretty much your night's done. We're going to take another look at this, and Vincent Valvano sporting that new paint scheme, and it didn't even get its maiden voyage off the ground. Well, he got off the ground, I guess. That's a bad phrase there, Peter, but that's not what he was looking to do, that's for sure.
Yeah, getting off the ground that way wasn't in his playbook here tonight. Great job, though, by the back half of the field, getting on the brakes and getting slowed down for that accident. No one kind of came into it without using any brakes. Everyone was able to grind to a halt. That's the good news. So we will get back to green flag here shortly. Just keep an eye on drivers off the racetrack. Johnny Williams, Vincent Valvano, both of those trucks appear to have their night come to a premature end. Meanwhile, it looks like Alonso Chicano and Brian Bradley able to keep on going. So 4 drivers involved in that first accident. Johnny Williams said he's still being towed in the chat, so we'll see whether or not Johnny can get back out there on the racetrack before the end of the night. Possibly the same with Vincent Valvano, but both of those trucks having very, very long stays on pit road and already multiple laps down here in the early stages. Pace car heads down pit road. Bill Edwards in the number 50 is at the front of the field and is leading us towards turn number 1. Big start of the race for a couple of drivers up there inside the top 10. Mitchell Adams, Garrett, in the number 49 machine. We mentioned that he qualified in 11th. He's already picked up 6 spots, trying to look for more here.
Yeah, Mitchell wasting no time starting just outside the top 10, getting himself into the top 5 here, and he looks like one of the fastest trucks on the track, if not the fastest right now, Peter. But we'll see how long he can hold on to the speed, especially with tire wear here at a track that's known to eat up tires. And so it looks like we have another spinner in the back of the pack there, Peter, and yellow's out.
Yeah, Lupe Gonzalez this time in the number 35 machine. I think there was a little bit of contact with the number 77 of Kevin Stone. So we will see what happened here to bring out this caution flag. And yeah, let's see if we can roll this right here. There's a contact with the 77 of Kevin Stone, and Stone was able to save the truck, maybe with a little bit of help there. But let's see if we can get maybe a little bit better of a look there of exactly what happened to Lupe Gonzalez. Keep your eyes on the number 35, Andrew Himmelman, going up the wall. Yeah, Kevin Stone just got loose out of turn number 4, and for the second time here tonight, the caution flag waving. So a couple of early cautions here at Homestead, Miami in the championship round. But hopefully this time both drivers able to get away without any significant damage. We'll see with the second caution of the night whether or not we get a lucky dog. No, we do not. Both drivers who are 1 or more laps down are still on pit road. Johnny Williams saying his night is done. 47 minutes of repair to get that truck back out. And in 47 minutes, it could be the end of the championship. We don't really know. This race could tick by very quickly if we can get to green flag running. But unfortunately, 2 caution flags here in the early going, bringing us to a slow grind here around the Homestead Miami Speedway. Thanks to the chat. Let's go check out what's going on over there. We're seeing any Bama fan that is a driver is a field filler. Oof, man, that's shots fired at Ben Adams. I believe he is the Bama fan. Excuse me, Bama fan in the family. Kind of hard to say, Bama fan in the family. You have to think about that one and slow that one down. Stay tuned Sports saying I wanted to make playoffs to win championship as big as you know what to do to the idiot Kelly. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have high hopes for the college football playoff this season. I still think it needs to be opened up to more teams. I think it's ridiculous that it's only 4 teams that get to go to this playoff, with some teams that have not exactly been challenged in the mix to go into the championship 4. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe they'll get challenged, and I guess they get challenged there at the end. But that's my personal gripes. The pace car is still lights a twinkling up at the front of the field, so we'll go an extra lap here, Garrett. Looks like we're looking at a lap 10 restart here tonight.
Well, Peter, these first 10 laps have been a bit underwhelming. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, and I'm just hoping that these next 90 laps make up for it. We have a couple guys whose nights end.
Where were you keeping the bag?
The bag of what, Peter?
The bag that the cat was in.
Oh, dear goodness gracious. You can tell that we're working together a while now. You're getting me on things like that. There's a lot of my coworkers always make cat jokes because I have 2 cats. I'm a crazy cat person, so I'm just going to ignore that, Peter. I'm going to get back to calling the race. and we'll move on. But you got me there, buddy. You got me.
Well, if you have 2 cats, are any of them in the bag?
My one cat is so fat. The only type of bag would have to be the size of like a hot air balloon type bag. He's a fat little rascal. But he has thumbs, so he's kind of cute. He has like what they call him, polydactyl. That's a big word for everyone. Look it up. But hey, guys, if we were under green right now, we wouldn't be talking about how fat my cat is and having a cat in the bag. So that's on you guys. All right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll hopefully go back green here very shortly. As well, I thought we were going to go back green here shortly as the field was doubling up for the restart, but looks like the lights are twinkling again, so it'll be another lap before we go back green here at the Homestead, Miami. So I'm curious to know how the chat is. I mean, we had a race last Monday night. It was a fairly quiet chat. I think some people still hung over on the turkey comas. How did everyone do over the Thanksgiving break? Did everyone have a good Thanksgiving? Hopefully you did if you're here in the USA. Garrett, hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving break as well.
Yeah, Peter, it was a good Thanksgiving. I enjoyed the time off of work. Got to have dinner with my family. There's only 4 of us left pretty much in my family, so it's kind of sad, but kind of peaceful in a way too. You have a lot of family. Sometimes there's some fighting and some tension, but I hope everything was good for you guys as well as this will be your last Thanksgiving without a short, so you'll have something next season, the next year Thanksgiving to fill us in on, and I hope everyone in the chat had a good one as well. If you did anything exciting, please let us know.
Yeah, I went to see family over the Thanksgiving break, so that was always fun to see. And there is Matt White in the number 70 machine from our 3-wide TV Fat Cat bag cam. It's the blimp that's flying around. At least that's Garrett's Fat Cat bag cam. But anyway, we're about to go back green because I think the iRacing lights have finally stopped twinkling up there at the front of the field. So we will get the caution flag thrown away once more. Let's see what the iRacing flagman. We need a name for the flagman here tonight. Stay tuned, sports. I know you're in the chat. I know you like to name the flagman. And the flagman is waving once again towards turn number 1. As looks like the number 50, Bill Edwards. He's been getting good restarts here tonight. Garrett, he's going to lead us towards turn number 1. But look at the number 49, Mitchell Adams, slinging it on the outside.
Yeah, Bill Edwards leading the field like he's leading us all towards death, considering he's so old and close to it, Peter. But Matt White taking a look on the inside, and a lot of these guys are ready to make a move here for the lead. And Mitchell Adams is also right there within striking distance.
Matt White looking to the inside. Looks like Matt White using that, using the grip that's down there, at least early in the run, has got himself to the race lead. Matt White going to lead his first lap of the season. End of the race here tonight. Edwards going to slide back into second. It's a side-by-side battle. There, almost 3 wide now is Ben Izenga now looking to the inside, and here comes J.D. Laird. He's going to try and play in the mix. If you're wondering about our butt kicker challenge driver, the number 13 of James Arello, he's worked his way all the way up to the 16th position, so a long way to go here tonight as we're 3 wide. Laird on the bottom, John Kinizar on the high side, Ben Izenga, he's the meat in the sandwich as, Izenga gets loose coming out of turn number 4. There might have been a little bit of contact. I'm seeing some front end damage on J.D. Laird's number 46 JDRgraphics.com machine. Of course, if you've heard of JDR Graphics, you've seen them probably on a bunch of iRacing trucks. Well, that man right there, JD Laird, is the man behind JDR Graphics and always putting together a great-looking race truck here in the Total Nonstop Racing Series. You can't get a better-looking truck than that one right there. He's running now inside the top 6, going to try and make a move on the high side of Izenga now on the inside. Matt White still holding on, but the 49 of James Arello, not James Arello, excuse me, the number 49 to Mitchell Adams, the bright orange and blue machine, has gotten up to second, although he almost got up into the outside wall, and that's going to stack things up here a little bit as John Canzar going to go to the inside. We're 3 wide again inside the top 5.
Peter, that was 3 wide with no give and take there. No room there between the 17 and the 12, and they're still bumping and banging as they go into the turn here. I just wanted to say, you talked about J.D. Laird. J.D. Laird, it's a pleasure to always have him when he shows up to our Total Nonstop Racing events. He's a very talented and popular driver. If you check him out on Twitter, check out his designs. And just like that, he gets into the 49, and we'll have plenty more to talk about him here, Peter.
He goes around, and there's more contact in the back of the field. Ben Adams is involved, and oh, man, it is an absolute logjam in turn number 1. My oh my, let's see what happened here up at the front of the field to bring out caution flag number 3 here tonight. This might be one that takes us a while to sort out. Let's put on the 3-wide TV slow-mo cam. The number 49 coming down the racetrack and just gets into J.D. Laird right there. And Mitchell Adams turns himself off the nose of the 46. Adams going for a big slide through the grass. Watch J.D. Laird in that number 46. He starts coming back up the racetrack, but that is just... and Garrett, you're mentioning there wasn't a lot of give and take, and you see Tristan Maher getting involved. Mike Tellier is... oh, man. Looks like J.D. Laird gets another second hit there, but not a lot of give and take here early on.
Yeah, not a lot of give and take, Peter, and you don't expect to see this many cautions at a track like Homestead. It races, it's so racy, there's multiple grooves, and you just expect guys to be able to pass and do what they have to do out there to get towards the front. And it's surprising to me, and I don't know if it could be the way the trucks are handling it. I'm not saying anyone's doing anything wrong, Peter. I'm not here to stir up controversy, but I just didn't expect this, and I think that's fair to say. We came into this, we expected a very racy race, and we've had anything but so far, and it's frustrating, to be honest.
Yeah, caution flag is out once again. Sorry for the long replay here, folks. Let's see if we can get another look at this from the 3-wide TV. Garrett's big fat bag cam, as there's that contact, and just watch how this gets worse here in a hurry as the 46 goes around, the 49 goes up the racetrack, the 5, the 97, the 28 of Dumas, who had a great qualifying run a little while ago. Good job by some of these drivers towards the back of the pack, like Fernando Matos, who we have not mentioned here tonight, to avoid it. See if we can actually go on board with Fernando Matos here as he navigated his way through this madness. On board right here with Fernando. Watch all this action happening in front of him. Gets on the brakes, slows down, slows down, slows down, slows down, slows down, slows down, keeps slowing down. Finally finds a way through it. And I think the number 13 machine also was able to find a way through it. That is James Arello. Here we go, on board with our butt kicker challenge driver. Let's see exactly what he saw for the second time here tonight, almost getting involved in a race. And I'll tell you what, Garrett, Lorello knows where the brake pedal is.
Yeah, that's why James Lorello is a championship caliber driver, Peter. He knows how to get on those brakes and do it in a safe way to not wreck himself or anyone else. And Peter, if we get back from replay here and we could take a closer look at the 24 of Fernando Matos, I believe he shared some good news, and we should give him a shout out.
You read my mind there, Garrett. I was about to do that exact same thing that you just mentioned, and there is the number 24 machine just heading out back onto the racetrack. And the good news is that we found out about Fernando Matos' sister, who is graduating with a special education, I believe, master's from Florida, the University of Florida, and got to give a big shout out to her for doing so and seeing it all out and getting herself a fantastic degree. That is Anna Luisa, who is graduating with that degree with elementary education and special ed masters. So really, really cool to see that, and then some congratulatory wishes on that number 24 truck here tonight. Unfortunately, it looks like it has got a little bit worse for wear. I thought he made it through that accident A-okay, but not sure where that damage was picked up on that Ford F-150. Hopefully it's not too bad and he can race his way to the front. Of course, Fernando Matos now is living in the state of Florida. It doesn't originally hail from there. In fact, he's the only Brazilian in the field here tonight. Grew up in Brazil for a while and moved to Atlanta, now living in Florida. So you could say that this is one of a couple home races for that number 24 machine. Matos currently being scored 21st out of the drivers here tonight. One lap down, however, as we've got all these trucks with damage now, Garrett. We are sitting at 20 trucks on the lead lap. Lupe Gonzalez now the first truck one lap down.
Well, Peter, for Lupe's sake, I hope he's able to get his lap back, but for our sake, Peter, I hope this race goes green for the next 81 laps, so we'll see. Hopefully the give and take picks up a little bit and the intensity dies down for a little bit here in the middle of the race, and we'll see what Matt White has for them here, leading them back to the green. No surprise seeing Matt White lead. He's done plenty of winning in his TNR career, so we'll see if he can hold off these guys who've been consistently running this truck series in this one-off start for that number 70 truck.
So the number 70 will see the green flag here shortly as the iRacing pace car heads down pit road. We are going to get that green flag here shortly. Hopefully it stays out for more than just a couple of laps, as it has been a flurry of caution flags here in the opening 20 laps. Matt White heads towards turn number 1. Number 17 of Ben Izenga right back behind him. And Garrett, you know how the old saying goes, you can't win the race on lap number 1. Well, you can't win it on lap number 20. These drivers need to find that rhythm, as we're hearing that, well, I thought there was some contact further back in the pack, but it was actually not. Luckily, we're going to say green flag, and everyone's pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, for now, Peter, but if we've learned anything working together for as long as we have, as soon as we mention how smoothly things are going, it's bound to change. So these guys are giving a good run here. They're spread out here throughout the field. It looks like maybe everyone's trying to find their own spot and give some racetrack to their competitors as we look at a battle for the lead.
Yeah, battle for the race lead between Ben Izenga and Matt White. They will duel it out, but look at the great side-by-side action currently being seen throughout the field. We saw some 3 and 4 wide action a couple of laps ago under just when we got going green flag towards the back of the pack. They seem to sort things out now to just double file. We're going to watch Matt White and Ben Izenga duel it out. The number... Who is that? That is John Canizaro Jr., the number 12, sitting there in the 3rd position, just on the right-hand side of your shot right about now. There he is. But so far, so good for Matt White. And Garrett, he's one of those drivers who knows how to save his tires. He's very smart. He's very fast over the long run. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Matt White is able to stretch it out a little bit if he can stay up there at the front of the field, if we can get a little bit of a green flag running, because that number 70 truck, as I say that, he loses the lead to Ben Izenga, but keep your eye on that number 70 truck because it's a long race, and if we can get some green flag running, that's where Matt White really excels in his Chevy Silverado, so keep our eyes on him. As John Canizaro is now in 3rd, Andrew Himmelman up 4 spots from the drop of the green flag, and look who's worked his way inside the top 5 for the first time here tonight. That's the number 51 of Kyle Zimmer. Got the Hollandale Signarama. Speaking of the greater Miami area, of course, Hollandale is in the greater Miami area. Of course, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had the Signarama of Hollywood, Florida on the race sponsor, and Signarama there of Hollandale on the 51 of Zimmer. So great to see that, and doing good so far here, Garrett, inside the top 5.
Yeah, Kyle Zimmer has been very fast and very consistent here since he's joined the Total Nonstop Racing League, and it's good to see the Signarama truck running well again tonight. We just had some good news from Fernando Matos and his sister and the family, and Mr. Matos is always in our chat rooting on his drivers, and one of his drivers is fairly competitive here tonight, Peter. It's good to see. Peter, if you don't mind, I have to take something. If you could give me 2 minutes, I'll be right back. Sorry.
All right, 120 seconds are on the clock. Garrett Gleason is going to the sin bin for hooking, I think. So we will see whether or not Garrett Gleason comes back out onto the ice. But right now, Kyle Zimmer getting pressured from that number 8 from behind. Of course, Fernando Matos usually running a very similar scheme to that number 51, except for that special paint scheme that he's running here tonight. Meanwhile, side-by-side back behind him, Andrew Himmelman and James Arello now side-by-side down the backstretch. It is these 2 drivers who have had many races together, many close races between the 8 and the number 13. Get the spot to James Arello, who actually just pitted on lap number 16, came down, took fresh tires, so slightly fresher tires on the driver going for the butt kicker challenge here tonight. So that could be advantage to James Arello. We'll see how everything all sorts out. Meanwhile, Ben Izenga now up at the front of the field. Matt White in 2nd. They're getting around the slower lap truck of Ben Adams in the number 5, who got involved in one of the earlier accidents that we had here tonight. But right now, looks like Canizaro has run down Matt White and is challenging for this 2nd position. You can see them side by side off of turn number 2. Maybe Matt White still kind of playing for the long game. We'll have to wait and see if that's the case or not. Izenga now up to almost a second race lead. Cannizzaro is going to go on by. I think that was a little bit of give and take by the number 70 of Matt White. Now he's going to look back underneath the number 12, going to try and do that over-under technique. But one thing about this racetrack, folks, is that I have found over the years is that using a really, really, really strong rear brake bias is a great way to get around this racetrack because it saves your tires. We talked about tire management. We heard tire management from the number 13 of James Dorello, and right now, tire management might be coming to the forefront. Maybe Matt White did burn up his stuff early on. I was expecting him to not do so. But White is going to slide back to third for now, and here comes James Dorello on fresher tires. The number 13, who started shotgun on the field, avoided some very big accidents in front of him in the early going using the brake pedal. He's strongly inside the top 5 right now and trying to run down third and second here, Garrett.
Peter, what I missed? Did I win the race somehow? Maybe my speed out there was better than some of these trucks. Looks like we have a good battle here inside the top 5. These guys are finally getting some space to race each other, and the field's getting spread out a little bit, so hopefully we have a little bit of a break in the cautions here. But thank you for filling in for me there.
All I have to say, Garrett, is be careful with the hooking because we don't want to put you in the sin bin for another 2-minute penalty. Because I'll tell you what, when those other commentators get the power play on 3-wide TV, it usually doesn't go well. But anyway, here comes Lorello in the number 13 machine. He didn't miss a whole lot, except Lorello has now tracked down second and third. And Don Cannizzaro was able to get around Matt White a couple of laps ago, and now Lorello trying to get around Matt White on his fresher tires that he picked up on lap number 16 here tonight. Bill Edwards in the number 50. He's our points leader entering into tonight. It's going to have to be a disaster of a night. He's going to have to end up upside down on his lid, more or less, here in the next probably 20, 30 laps if anyone's going to have any shot at taking the crown away from Bill. It's very solidly inside his hands. Kyle Zimmer still holding on to the 5th spot in front of Andrew Himmelman. Himmelman right now in the SimShots number 8 machine, showing some pace. Started in 8th up to 6th right now, but the biggest mover of the field is driver of the number 22 machine. Right there, Stephen Kegman in his Chevy Silverado, plus 12 spots since the drop of the green flag. You can see him out there outpacing Jamar Dumas, who qualified inside the top 10 in the 10th position. So far, so good from the 22 of Kegman. And one thing I've noticed about Kegman over this season, Garrett, is Steven really runs some unconventional race lines. He's running right up there against the wall, maybe trying to save his tires and find some speed up there.
Peter, it's because he doesn't know what he's...
Well, that's an unconventional line, Garrett. Just to take the words out of your mouth. I don't think he knew what he was doing right there, getting into the outside wall.
Yeah, like I was going to say, Peter, he's not running a line because he thinks it's faster. He's running that line because he doesn't know what he's doing out there. And that's one of the things we love about Stephen Kegman. He's been with us forever. He just shows up on Monday, and he just puts in his best effort. Whether he wins or finishes in last, he has a good time. And looks like right there he was having a bit too much of a good time as we watch another driver who's known to run where they aren't on the racetrack, Phillip Scott.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Phillip Scott in the number 99 is the man on the mission. He's up 8 spots from the drop of the green flag, getting to the outside of Kyle Zimmer. He's actually been tracking down this group of trucks, so looking good right now for the number 99. Of course, running a Kyle Edwards-inspired throwback scheme from back when Carl used to run the Super Chips scheme, and I think maybe John Wood also ran that scheme at one point, but of course we know Phillip Scott's a Carl Edwards fan, so it's not a John Wood throwback, folks. It's definitely a Carl Edwards throwback, but also the number 50 of Bill Edwards now starting to look a little bit racy. These tires definitely starting to wear, about 15 laps away from the cross flags here tonight at this 1.5 mile Homestead Miami Speedway, I should say. Edwards able to complete that pass. Everyone just now starting to get a little bit spread out here, Garrett. The 2 and 3 wide that we saw a little while ago, not exactly being seen right now, but still a long way to go. And another thing is these trucks look a lot more stable, Garrett, as the tires have warmed up. These drivers now able to kind of push their trucks a little bit more without them getting so loose.
Yeah, Peter, absolutely. I think a big thing here was getting some heat in the tires so these guys can handle these trucks. And that's one of these things in the first season with these trucks that we need to figure out from an administrative standpoint. How much fuel can we take out of them? How many tire sets do these guys need? This is something that we're going to get better at over time. So the guys that are going to stick with us into the future, we'll definitely be able to give them a racier truck, I believe, with the experience we're getting from these 8 races here.
Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you can just see just how much the field is spread out right now. Big gap has developed between... Oh, here comes Ben Izenga on pit road, lap number 37 in the WestJet Chevy Silverado. He's coming down to his pit box right here. Lone driver on pit road right now. We'll see whether or not some more drivers elect to come down this next time. Of course, this driver right here, Garrett, he doesn't need to come down pit road. James Arello, one of the few drivers to pit on lap number 16 and took tires on lap number 16. So Lorello could go for probably another 20 laps or so, but he's electing to come down pit road here. Probably wants to stay kind of on strategy with a couple of the other trucks around him. Interestingly, though, is that Lorello's going to use his second set of tires here tonight. And Garrett, I'm not sure how many sets of tires they have in the pits lane, or the pits here tonight, but that could be pretty interesting to see how that all shakes out, whether or not we get late in the race and Lorello has one less set of tires than most of the people who are around him.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many they have, Peter. I'm assume they're probably 4. He's going to have another option to change tires later like everyone else, but it's something to keep an eye on. I heard these guys could run about 35 laps on fuel, so for this being the pit window for those guys who stayed out, I expected, but for James Lorello to try to stay on strategy with those guys, I did not expect that, Peter. I expected them to run it a little longer and make some more use of those tires.
Yeah, the number 70, Matt White, though, up at the front of the field. We expect him to come down pit road here very shortly. With the number of caution flag laps that we ran, we think he could probably go another 3 or so laps. You see him right in front of Ben Izenga. Izenga on those brand new, fresh Goodyear tires should be able to whip around the outside of the number 70 here. But Garrett, one thing that these drivers are going to have to watch out for, cold tires, not on a restart, but cold tires coming off pit lane. And for the first probably 5 laps or so, going to be a little bit dicey out there on the racetrack with the cold tires.
Yeah, as we saw early in our race when we had all that chaos, cold tires are not these guys' friend. And if you're out there running a certain lane on old worn tires, you get out there and you decide, oh, I'm going to hot lap, essentially. You're bound to make a mistake out there. So I'm hoping these guys have learned from their experience early on in the race as we watch a group of 4 led by Matt White coming to pit road. And looks like our buddy Bob Giaquinto is the caboose, so to speak, as they head down.
Yeah, Bob up there at the top of the screen with his New Jersey 101.5 scheme. They're all coming into their pit box right now. Looks like J.D. Laird has parked up the number 46 machine here tonight, the JDRgraphics.com machine right there in the middle of your screen, all beaten up from that contact with the number 49 machine of Mitchell Adams. But Matt White, that crew goes to work. They'll drop the jack right there, and he is down and away. As, Kyle Zimmer in the number 51 machine has a big moment on pit road. That's not what you want to see. Kyle Zimmer needs to find that reverse gear, and does not look like he will. Has to take a tow back to pit road. That is extremely unfortunate. Garrett, cold tires exiting the pit box.
Cold tires exiting the pit box, Peter, and the caution is out. We'll have to see what happened. I don't know if it was for that incident on pit road or something else happened, but good news for these guys who stayed out. They might be catching the break.
And we're hearing that it might have been one of the key contenders of the race, Matt White, who went around in the number 70 machine into the grass. And we believe, interestingly enough, that this was enough to bring out the caution flag, because there were other drivers kind of on pit lane. He goes rally crossing through the infield grass right there over into the gravel trap and making use of the Homestead road course. But I don't think there was anything else going on the racetrack. But the only thing I can think of, Garrett, is because there were other drivers on the pit road exit line, or the pit road exit access road. That it was enough for iRacing to throw the caution flag, but that's going to benefit this driver significantly. This is Jason Gracias in the number 1 Chevy Silverado coming down to his pit box for the first time here tonight. And we talked about it, Garrett, cold tires. We didn't really talk about the pit road access road, or the access road on exit that the drivers must stay below before they re-enter the racetrack. But man, it bit hard. Jason Gracias, though, benefiting hugely from that event.
Yeah, you don't need to give a competitor like Jason Gracias a break, and that's exactly what this yellow did. It's going to give Jason Gracias, who is one of the best at saving tires, an opportunity to get some track position and be able to gap himself and some of these competitors and be on a little bit of a fresher tire strategy, because I don't think these guys that just pit a couple laps ago are coming in and taking their set of tires. That wouldn't really make any sense, but a good break for these guys. And I think our leaderboard showing Steven Doziak as the leader. Don't know if he stayed out or if that's just a pit road timing line, but a lot of these guys who are known to play different strategies, this is definitely going to benefit as we take a look at Steven Doziak in the number 55 white and pink Bagcraft. Is that a Toyota? It usually runs a Toyota, but I'm not sure what it is. Is it Toyota? Yep.
Yeah, good call there, G. Yes, it is a Bagcraft Toyota. And for those wondering at home about the number 55, Steven Doziak, he is coming down pit road right now. So he stayed out an extra lap. Jason Shue, the number 3, coming down. Fernando Matos is on pit road. Mike Floppy Tellier, Brian Bradley, the 77 of Kevin Stone, coming to the pit box right now. But what's going to be interesting here, Garrett, is the fact that under this particular caution flag, some drivers are going to have to take the wave around. Other drivers are going to be stuck 1 lap down. We're just going to have to see how it all shakes out here when we go back to green flag in just a moment. When we're not even to the halfway mark here tonight. I was expecting this one to kind of fly on by, but it seems like with the twists and turns that we have seen in the opening 46 laps or so, it has kind of been a little bit on the longer side here in the 3-wide TV season finale. 150 miles here in the Homestead area, close to Miami, hence the racetrack's name as Homestead Miami Speedway. And I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth is Garrett Gleason, and we have seen quite a few twists and turns here tonight at this particular racetrack, and we are glad to be enjoying it with all of you in the chat here on the channel. Tana Himmelman saying the number 5 of Ben Adams has called it a night. Tana also gave us a little bit of intel, Garrett, that is very interesting. Only 2 sets of tires on these trucks here tonight. That could be absolutely disastrous for some of these drivers. At least that's what Tana said. Stay Tuned Sports also said 2 sets in the pits. So it seems like we have some concurrence in the chat there. So that could really make for a difficult race for some of these drivers later on who might have just used their final set of tires.
Yeah, I would not want to be one of those guys that used their last set of tires, Peter. That's for sure. Not a good strategy, I don't think, unless you think this thing's going to go green to the end. But in that case, you can't make it on fuel anyway. I think the fuel windows start somewhere about 35, 37 laps. So, yeah, I would not want to be the guy with 0 tires available in the pits when it comes time for the last pit stop. Do what you can, stretch tires out, especially on this middle run here, and have some for a 15-lap or so shootout, because that's usually what ends up happening.
So, iRacing pace car lights are off. We will have the halfway mark cross flags here in about 3 laps from when we go back to green flag. JD Laird saying F for me, F in the chat. F to pay respects. Riderly Angle rooting on Phillip Scott here tonight. So JD said he'd come talk if we need to kill time, Peter. So, oh man, whoa, get all JD Laird up here into the 3-wide TV booth as the green flag is going to wave one more time here tonight at the Homestead Miami. And we're joined by JD Laird here in the 3-wide TV booth. JD, I know not the night that you were hoping for, as a lot of 2-wide, 3-wide, 4-wide action here tonight at Homestead Miami. Do you think it was just some drivers being a little bit overzealous early on? Or do you think the cold tires are catching out people tonight?
I think it's catching out people a little bit. I mean, I love the setup. Usually the open setups are a little bit tight. It's got the 60 in the fence through 3 and 4. But it threw people off a little bit. And with the way these tracks are, you have to go because it's got the grip levels. It's got the dynamic lines the quotey dynamic lines. So it forces you to go. And you only have 2 sets of tires, so you don't have those chances to make multiple pit stops and kind of play an offset strategy. You're kind of locked into what it is. So it's throwing people off a little bit. It threw me off for a little bit because I went on cruise control and got swallowed on lap 2. But if it plays out, and you got another car on the fence here off of 4, I believe that is the 23. But yeah, it just throws people off a little bit. It's getting a little hectic out there. I should let you guys do a little bit of talking.
Yeah, it is very hectic out there. And like you said, JD, these are drivers trying to go after the racetrack. They're trying to get every spot they can get here early on. Right now, Ben Izenga, who is currently on about 13 lap-old tires up at the front of the field with John Cannizzaro behind him. We just saw that caution flag come out at a very inopportune time for some of the drivers at the front of the field right now because their tires are a little bit older. Do you think that the tires being a little bit older might give them an early advantage in the run, but then once the other drivers' tires warm up, it will kind of swing in their favor?
After a couple of laps, maybe. If the tires cool down, the cycle will play in a little bit and it'll work. But once the tires start to cycle in, get a little bit more heat in them, the newer tires will prevail quite a bit. It's just, and the people that commit to running the bottom will be a lot faster. Everybody thinks that they can fly up to the fence and make it work. It just burns tires more and more and more. I know my strategy tonight was just to be a catfish and roll bottom all night long unless I had to make a move if somebody was holding me up and pinning me down or something like that. But yeah, the way, like I said, like they only have 2 sets of tires. It throws a lot of people into a box, and that caution came out at an awkward time.
Yeah, it definitely did come out at an awkward time as the field just now starting to get a little bit more strung out. John Cannizzaro, the number 12, is your new race leader, just took away that top spot from the number 17 of Ben Izenga. Orello, who, of course, at least I believe, Orello has taken his final set of tires here tonight, so that could really put him in a pickle as the lap count trickles down. Behind him, though, Jason Gracias, who is the first of the drivers who were really able to take full advantage of that caution flag by pitting under the yellow and get a whole bunch of track position. He's now running there in the 4th spot, kind of doing exactly what you just said, JD. A couple of laps, I think we're finally starting to see that number 1 get those tires underneath them, and he looks a little bit more racy than these 3 trucks in front of him right now.
Absolutely, and he's doing what I would commit to do is just run the bottom, run your own pace. He's running the bottom through 3 and 4. I believe he's running the seam through 1 and 2, which is absolute money to save tires. It's just that there's so much grip out there because it's at night, track's cold, the setup's built a little bit more aggressive, and you can attack it more. That everybody wants to go kill. If you commit to not going full kill, it will be huge as the run goes on.
And you can see, looks like James Orello able to sneak on past his S2R teammate of Ben Izenga, Lorello all over the back bumper of the number 17 machine. And that's another thing at this racetrack that I've experienced over the years in iRacing. This racetrack in particular, for some reason, JD, it seems like you can really get a truck or car aero loose by really packing the air underneath the rear spoiler. Is that something that you think some drivers have experienced here tonight? Did you have any experiences like that?
There was one instance to where it kind of caught me off guard, but a lot of that is like when you see somebody rail up, you look in the mirror and you're thinking, oh crap, I don't want to get hit. So you kind of roll into the throttle a little bit more and the car's not set in the corner, so you kind of start sliding around a little bit. So there is a little bit of aero, not as much as what we would love to have and how much it is in the real world. But that plus the compound will look in your mirror, hopefully you don't get ran over entering the corner. That compounds that whole sliding factor, and it makes it a little bit difficult on the driver because, like I said, like there's a lot of grip out here, so it doesn't take much to rail up on somebody in the center of the corner and make some move like that happen.
Well, that's kind of the thing, because once you've got all your tires loaded up, you can't really load them up anymore once you found that edge. And once you start to go over that edge, whether it's due to a little bit of aero coming off the rear spoiler, that's when you're going to start to get your truck loose. That's when you're going to start to push up into the wall. Something's going to happen. So it just takes a little bit, especially on these very aero-sensitive racetracks. And I know that's might be one of the reasons why that number 46 is in the garage here tonight, because this is such an aero-sensitive racetrack, because you're carrying 170 miles an hour, 170 plus miles an hour off into each of these corners. How does that factor into the way you race this racetrack?
You have to race a little bit conservative in a way, because like I said earlier, this track you can run up to the top and you can think, oh, if I'm running the top like the 12 is right now, it's fast. It's fast for him right now, but you have to keep yourself in that window and keep it in between the walls, unlike I did at Darlington quite a bit. But it'll hurt the truck. And if you try to run the top through 3 and 4, there's a bump in the center of 3 and 4. It'll bottom the nose out, fly the nose into the wall, and you kill the whole right side of the truck. But nobody runs through the top through 3 and 4 because it's just built different. I don't know what it is. It's just that kind of corner. 1 and 2, you can set up to run the top more, but it just burns the tires more. And if you try to get more and more and more out of it, you get closer and closer to that wall. You knock the wall down, kill the aero platform a little bit, and it just compounds into a worse and worse situation. But everybody seems to be right now playing very nice, not getting up to the wall that high in 1 and 2. Is he got a nice little battle for 3rd and 4th gear. But you play that line between wanting to run top, wanting to run bottom, wanting to run right up against the fence, running off the fence. It's a very good mental game with these tracks, but you have to race within your means and within reason to get the maximum out of it.
Yeah, that is very well put, because, that high line can be very fast, but all it takes is a little bit of a contact with the outside wall, and your entire race is shot. I've had that happen to me many, many times over the many years in both NASCAR Racing 2003 season and iRacing. It seems like it matters more in iRacing than it did back in the NASCAR Racing 2003 season days, but iRacing, I think, as a whole is a little bit less forgiving than NR 2003 was. We're looking at this battle right here between the number 8 of Andrew Himmelman and the number 55 of Stephen Doziak, and I believe that Garrett Gleason has gone hunting for his cat or something in the bag. Perhaps, Garrett, you still hanging around?
Yeah, I'm here, Peter. I'm just really enjoying hearing from JD. It's not every day that you get to hear from one of the best iRacers in the world about strategy and how to drive a track, so I hope everyone was appreciating it as much as I was right there. It's an honor.
I am far from one of the best. I'm one of the oldest as far as sim racing terms. I'm just paired up with probably one of the hottest drivers in the sim racing service with Donovan Strauss, spotting him. Like, he's taught me a bit, and he hasn't said a word to me. Like, just being involved and watching those races and spotting him and learning the ins and outs of the Pro Series, the Road to Pro Series, the Coke Series, it carries on. Like, everybody kind of has this, like, oh, the Black Stripes, the Coke guys, they have an ego. But, yeah, they do, but they're there for a reason. So there's nothing wrong with spectating a race, or with me being lucky to be paired up with a driver like Donovan Strauss. Like, you just learn so much just by watching, and you just pick up little things here, like he's arcing the corner a little later or backing the corner way up and still carrying speed. Like, that's what helped me so much at Darlington, and he didn't say a word to me, but me spotting him during that whole race, you just learn to pick up those cues.
Yeah, I think that's very well put. Back when I first started iRacing, I got to drive with a couple of very, very talented sim racers. Parker Hammonds, Justin Brooks. Of course, Brooks is now racing in the NASCAR Heat. series that we have going on, and of course with Daniel Patafuco, who was here in the Total Nonstop Racing League a little while ago, as it looks like the number 13 machine of Lorello is now in the race lead, but he doesn't have a set of tires on pit road, so we'll see how that works for him. But getting to watch and understand, and I've had the opportunity to even talk to some of those drivers and learn from some of those drivers. You can learn a whole lot about racing a particular racetrack. For example, this particular racetrack, I once came here, I was completely garbage on a Saturday night race. Sunday night, I was racing for a championship. Someone came along and said, hey, just run your brake bias as low as it will go. Just run your brake bias so far back here, you'll save so much front tire, and you'll be bomb on the long run. That next night, swept the field. There is so much knowledge in iRacing that someone can come along, tell you, and teach you how to run a racetrack, or teach you, just a little bit that can go a long way, especially in a fixed series like Total Nonstop Racing League, because it's all about the line, it's all about saving tires, it's all about managing your brake bias and your steering ratio and getting the most out of your truck, maybe not in a single lap. Of course, we have a long green flag run here, JD, I think for the first time here tonight, but it's about getting that truck the fastest over a long run. At the same time, though, you mentioned it earlier, you have to get it while it's good, because clean air can be, very important, and it can also be very difficult to pass trucks. So that's why I think we see the level of intensity that we do here in the Stay Tuned Sports Monday Night Thunder.
Absolutely. By the way, the 8 truck of Andrew Huberman also came down for his, I believe, second pit stop, splitting this race into 2/3. So he's committed to go to the end for, I believe it's 33 laps. So and I think he's the first one to break to pit road. So hopefully he can keep it underneath him a little bit, use these tires to the advantage, because not many people have ducked off. And the thing with the way the strategy is, you don't want to be the first one, but you don't want to be the last one because of the gap. And he's the first one, and he set the start for the cycle. And you have the 13 coming down pit road this time. So it's going to be interesting to see how much time he's actually going to be able to gain here, being the first one that came down pit road.
Yeah, and of course, Lorello, we don't think he still has a set of tires on pit road, and man, he's getting every little drop out of the tires there on pit road entry. That was a little bit scary. John Cannizzaro Jr. just now heading back out there onto the racetrack. And of course, speaking of this racetrack in particular, JD, these drivers have to deal with that pit road exit all the way to turn number 2 until the blue cone on the backstretch. Very, very flat. You almost have to flat track it. You have to race it like a road course all the way until you're up on the banking.
Yeah, and it was even more so difficult before they updated this track and had the entrance. They had the entrance in turn 3 using the access road, and you had to play the game very differently. Now it's got a more generic pit entrance, so you can attack it a lot harder, and the burn time using the access roads is half as much. But you still have to get all that you can and not like dip a tire into the grass coming off and spin the thing out and basically ruin everything that you have, because it's a small path to maximize everything that you can, so you have to spend a little bit of time to hit that perfect.
So Jason Gracias still out there on the racetrack. 29 laps left in the books here tonight to wrap up the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Monday Night Thunder here on 3 Wide TV. Peter Short, Garrett Gleason, and JD Laird joining us up here in the booth as we are under the longest green flag run of the night here. You're looking at your race leader, number 1, Jason Gracias, waiting to come down onto pit road. Has about a 4-second race lead over Alonso Chicano. You can see the number 97 Mike Floppy-Tellier involved in the first big accident that we had here tonight. I think it was the second big accident that we had here tonight. But Tellier has not been up to pace with all that damage. Unfortunately, will be a night to forget for the Canadian hailing from Sarnia, Ontario. Or at least right now, Gracia is still holding on and holding out for another caution, and that really worked to his advantage under the first round of green flag pit stops, because he was able to get a lucky caution and kind of get a free pit stop. And Garrett, we always like free pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. A free pit stop is good. You don't have to make any mistakes there. Well, we've seen Chris Darling do it in our NSRA broadcast, but for the most part, coming down under yellow with not much pressure on seems to benefit these guys. But that was a lucky break for Gracias. We're going to see how the strategy plays out for him when he makes his last pit stop here in a little bit. But as we take a good look at Phillip Scott in the 99, I expected him to be running a little better, Peter. It's a little surprising. This track seems to suit his driving style a lot as far as I'm concerned.
Well, one thing
I was wondering, Garrett, if you were going to stick around, because I came into the booth, chatted for a little bit, you disappeared, and I was just hoping when you went to the buffet table that you bring something back for us, but I don't know if you just disappeared or not, but I'm kind of waiting for my plate.
Well, that's your mistake for sending the fat guy to get a plate for you guys, because if I can't... Yeah, I'd have to keep it, guys. COVID protocols, I can't share my food with you guys, but maybe next time.
What did they have tonight, G?
Oh, but it was Chinese buffet night here at the Homestead Miami buffet table, and it was phenomenal. And I've been stuffing my face. I actually got some extra here, but like I said, I can't share it with you guys, so I'm sorry. I'm really enjoying the sweet and sour chicken.
They have teriyaki chicken too.
Yeah, and I actually just dropped yours on the floor because I'm jealous that you're talking to JD and not me. So sorry.
Oh, dude, come on now. I'm starving over here. But back out there on the racetrack, probably a couple of starving drivers, at least starving to get a win. Probably not Jason Gracias. He's got a couple of wins to his name over the last couple of months here on the channel. But one thing I did want to mention was the fact that we were right with James Arello in his Stay Tuned Sports podcast. Chevy Silverado did not have an extra set of tires on pit road. So he is going to have to go about 60 laps on this final set of tires, and that is very much doable. Don't get me wrong, but could get a little bit hairy there at the end, JD.
Yeah, it can, and also I believe fourth place Bill Edwards just dropped on the pit road with 24 laps to go. And that might be a little late, but he might be a ripper and he might pull something out and make it happen. I don't know the exact strategy of everybody else yet. I just feel like trying to make something happen this late might be a little bit too far to go.
Peter, I have to jump in here. I believe can we go back to Bill Edwards' pit stall? I think he has a picture of me as his pit stall. It could be someone else. It could be someone else's stall. I might be seeing things, but it looks like a picture of me with 3D glasses on, unless I'm seeing someone else's stall.
Well, probably is the correct stall. Let's come down and see. And that sure does look like a Garrett Gleason right there. And he sees you in 3D. Or maybe you see him in 3D. I don't know. And look at his pit crew there on the left-hand side of the screen. I think that shirt says it all right there. I think that is a great big pink WTF. On that pit crew, kind of just probably symbolizing everything that's going on here tonight on 3 Wide TV. But Edwards found his pit stall fairly nice and neatly, and he's back out there on the racetrack. Also on pit road, your race leader, Jason Gracias, finally peeled down onto pit road with 22 laps to go, and he'll use that access road that we were talking about a little while ago, JD, and try and get all he can get down there. And it's a good spot to actually pick up a little bit time on your competitors down there if you can just kind of push it all the way to the max, and he will rejoin the racetrack behind James Arello, who is on the older tires. Gracias just picked up a fresh of new tires, so we should be able to see him charge down some of the trucks in front of him. We're just waiting on Alonso Chicano to make his final pit stall, but that, and as I say that, Chicano heading down pit road, so that should pretty much cycle us through. Matt White joining in the number 70 GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. But one thing I was going to talk about with you, JD, and this is kind of an opinion that in my books is a fairly divisive opinion, and that is the tires that we currently have in iRacing. A couple of years ago, when you had a tire in iRacing, it would continue to slow down. It never really reached a plateau. At some tracks it would, but at most tracks it would continue to lose pace all the way through the run. With this modern tire that we have in iRacing, I think it lends itself to more opportunities to have different pit strategies because of the fact that it does plateau, and I think it kind of equalizes the pit early or the stay out late type strategies, because as long as you get into that plateau region, everyone gets to use the good stuff of those tires and gets to use that good stuff equally. And I think it's really changed the dynamic of iRacing over the last year to 2 years when we get these tires that now plateau.
I'm kind of indifferent with how they are. Like, I'm not saying V6 was better. I'm not saying that V7's any better. It's just a different dynamic. The way that you can save with the older tire model was that you can gradually you can go harder, and then you can back it up, and you can kind of get some of that back, because tires, if you burn them up, they're not coming back. So with V6, you can kind of do that. And what helped is that the dynamic tracks and to be able to move up and down was very aggressive. So you couldn't afford to run higher or lower if the track needed it. With V7, it's the way that you have to save tires is different. It's just, you can't go kill. You just have to sit there and accept the fact that 80% is going to be 100%. I have lapsed myself numerous times, even when I first started like league racing again a couple of years ago. It's okay, maybe I can go kill now, but you can't, because if you try to back that up after 5 laps, you've already started that curve of killing your tires. So, and you will never get that back. The only way you get that back is if you go twofold. And it's like, well, if I went 120% now, I have to go like 60% to go back to 80%. Like it's a very different way to attack how you save tires here, and to each their own. They're good in their own right. It just takes a different type of driving style to master V7.
Yeah, and that's a really good way of saying it, because we've definitely seen some drivers excel with V6, some drivers now excelling with V7, and it really just depends. Now, on your bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you're looking at the battle for the race lead between your top 5, and you can see there's quite a bit of space between your top 5. Cannizzaro, Ben Izenga, they're within a second of one another with just 16 laps to go. Himmelman is 2.5 seconds behind John Cannizzaro, who continues to lap the field as your race leader. Jason Grossi is 7.5 seconds left, and 7.5 seconds back, I should say. Bill Edwards is in 5th, and Mr. Consistency this season, Garrett, he's 15 laps away from walking away as the series champion.
Yeah, he's going to take home that championship trophy, that's for sure, especially with a top 5 run here tonight. And Bill is pretty much just done everything he's needed to do. And this is his going to be his second TNR championship. He's also won our Stadium Super Truck Series, so I can't wait to congratulate Bill. I got a couple comments I need to make about his choice in paint schemes and pit crew, but we'll save that for when we cross that bridge after the race. As we're taking a look at the 99 of Phillip Scott here again.
Garrett, I was going to say, I don't think I really want you on my pit crew. I mean, no offense, but, you know, I kind of want to win.
Yikes.
Yeah, just saying, buddy. But
well, I'll see myself out, guys. I'm going to go hit up the buffet again. Have fun with the rest of your lives.
Hey, you said there was nothing left. You said there was nothing left. You said you took it all. Are you saying that there's more left?
I'll see you guys there. Maybe I'll buy you guys dinner after the race.
Well, this is a very big building that we're in on top of the Homestead Miami Speedway grandstands. So he probably went down to the other side where they do like some unknown random radio broadcast, and they probably have another buffet. It's probably like a sports bar type of grill buffet kind of thing. So, you know, if he says that he's of rotund as he is, they probably have finger foods, and that's why he left.
See, guys, I don't know if you remember the line in Caddyshack. We have a pond and a pool. The pond would be good for you. I'm the pond guy. You guys are the VIPs. You're going to get the top-notch buffet. They're probably going to, like, kill the animal in front of you that you're going to eat, because that's how popular you guys are. So I'm sure whatever you guys get will be much better than what I have.
I am not popular by any means. I only wanted to babble for a little bit, and all of a sudden you just get pushed up to the corner, and I feel so sorry.
Yeah, just get stuck up here with us, but you know, it's been good fun, and you know, I really do appreciate you coming up here, JD. We'll let you go down, and I'll let you go find some of that food. Go get to it. I'm going to keep Garrett here alongside me. Go find some of that buffet food as we close in on the end of the championship. But JD, hope to see you back here in the Total Nonstop Racing League for the next season that will be coming soon. Haven't really announced anything just yet on when the next season will get underway, but that news will follow in due time. And best of luck in all of your endeavors and the team endeavors as well. And we'll talk to you again soon, bud.
I appreciate it. I just wanted to say, hey, just talk a little bit. Feel like you guys need another third person to kind of babble along for a little bit. As it looks like the lead might be getting a little spicy. But I just figured I'd come in for a little bit, talk a little bit, give you something else to talk about in case the long run gets really spread out and boring. But I'll let you guys have at it. Garrett, if you're not going to be stuffing your face when this race is over, I still need to talk to you. But you guys go ahead and close this out. Looks like it's going to be an entertaining one at the end.
All right. Well, we do appreciate you coming on by, and we'll, like I said, talk to JD Laird later. We'll let him go find his food. But Garrett, like JD mentioned, it's getting spicy up at the front of the field because John Cannizzaro, his lead is being chipped away right now, about a tenth of a second per lap. Ben Izenga closing on in the WestJet machine.
It's not going to be easy for Ben Izenga to pass the Wild Child, but Ben's caught him, and they always say catching him is the easy part. Passing him is the difficult thing to do, and there's not many more difficult than John Cannizzaro. As you look at his truck getting a little bit loose there as he's holding on to that truck for dear life, trying to hold on to this lead with 8 laps to go, heading into turn 1.
And don't look now, but behind them, the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias is starting to close in. He's still quite a ways back. Like JD Laird said, he pitted really late. He really needs to use every little bit of the tires as the number 17 of Izenga, speaking of using tires, going down there on the bottom side of the racetrack now, getting a little bit slideways out of turn number 4. But if you just look there, kind of at the top of the screen, just poking his front splitter from underneath the ticker, that was the number 1 of Jason Gracias on the freshest tires of the lot, about 10 lap fresher tires for the number 1. Here, as the lap count winds down, Jason Freeman in the chat rooting on Jason Gracias. He's going to need a huge last 7 laps if he wants to close in on the top 2. There's the gap to those front 2, but I'll tell you what, right now, that gap is closing. You can see from the lap time history, it's closing about 6 to 7 tenths of a second per lap. We'll see what it's like this time, almost 6 tenths of a second, because Garrett, that will put Jason Gracias on the heels of the top 2 here in about 4 laps from now. We could be looking at a 3-truck battle for the final checkered flag of the season.
Yeah, Peter, he's going to get there. I think it's easy to say, and the more these guys battle here for the lead, the easier Jason Gracias' job becomes when he gets there. And it's just a matter of setting up this pass and where is he going to go. If these guys are side by side, he's going to have to make his own lane out there. But we'll see in a couple laps. But Jason Gracias is coming, and I'm sure these 2 guys are well aware of that as we have Ben Izenga looking to take the lead and perhaps try to put a little bit of a gap between himself and that number 1.
Yeah, Izenga has to go. He has to get this race lead because, again, last time by, Gracias about a half a second faster than these front 2. Izenga slots in behind Cannizzaro. We're coming to 4 more laps to go. Just 6 miles left in the Total Nonstop Racing Stay Tuned Sports Monday Night Thunder Truck Series Championship. And now look at the 17 of Izenga looking to the high side out of turn number 4. Not able to do anything just yet. The number 1 looms a little bit closer. Once again, Izenga now drops to the low line. Going to try and hook that seam that JD Laird mentioned. That is a really good way around this racetrack, and Izenga washes up. He's got a good spot here, but that outside line, all the momentum out of the back of the number 12 Chevy Silverado, able to power him on back up to the race lead. But Izenga again with a charge down to the bottom side. And Garrett, what I'm seeing is Cannizzaro has been pretty strong through turn number 3 and 4, but he gets a little bit sideways. You can see him sawing on the wheel. We're side by side for the race lead. 3 laps to go, and here comes Gracias.
Wow, Peter, this race has really intensified. We promised these guys in the chat a good battle, and we certainly have one here with 3 to go. It's a 3-horse race. Jason Gracias is the fastest truck out there on the freshest tires, but these guys are not giving an inch as Ben Izinga is trying to put the number 12 of John Cannizzaro between him and Gracias. As Cannizzaro takes another look here to the outside, but it doesn't seem like he has anything for the 17 at this point.
And Cannizzaro hits the apron, gets loose, right in front of Gracias. Gracias has to check up. That might give Izinga just enough room as Gracias now looking to the inside for the second position as they head into turn number 1 and 2. Cannizzaro way up out of the groove. Give that one up to second. Gracias now has just one spot between himself and the checkered flag, but wow, Garrett, that allowed Izinga to really scoot away when Gracias had to check up. Good on Gracias for checking up, avoiding spinning around Cannizzaro, but good save on the number 12 as well as Gracias gets loose. Great save out of the number 1. That might have been his only opportunity to get up to the front. He's might have thrown it away as Ben Izinga, the Canadian, back in the Total Nonstop Racing League, sporting the WestJet Chevy Silverado here tonight, looking to take the checkered flag.
Wow, Ben Izinga, it didn't seem like he was going to have a gap or even a chance at winning this race with how fast Jason Gracias was coming, but the checkup by Cannizzaro, by Gracias because of Cannizzaro, is going to be all it takes here. Gracias gives it one last effort here in 3 and 4, but it's just not going to be close enough to make the pass, Peter, as Ben Izinga's coming to the line, and you could call us home.
Ben Izinga takes home the 3-wide TV 150 race win in great fashion in that number 17 machine. Bill Edwards, 6th place finish, comes across the line and becomes the Monday Night Thunder Series champion in the Silent Syndicate Racing Chevy Silverado. Great run for him here tonight, and what a great run for our top 3. And sure enough, Garrett, he's even got you on the hood. How about that? You get to kind of win a championship being on the hood of the number 50. I don't think that's necessarily going to count. Are you missing a tooth there, Garrett? That isn't a great look there, buddy.
Well, I don't think I'm missing a tooth, but now Bill has me judging myself, so I'm sure when we interview him later, I'll give you a little bit of the backstory on that picture and how this is a bad memory for me.
Well, the number 17 of Ben Izinga is going to do burnouts here on the front stretch as the race winner. Bill Edwards going to do burnouts on the front stretch. A couple of Silent Syndicate Racing teammates. And speaking of Silent Syndicate Racing teammates, we just found the other one, James Lorello, who started this race up at the front of the field, partook in the butt kicker challenge, but unfortunately for James Lorello, there he is, the butt kicker challenge driver. He is going to come home with a 11th place finish here tonight. And Garrett, I'm sure he's going to be ruining the fact that he took a set of tires very early on in that machine, as looks like Mike Tellier has joined the mix as well. Great race, great way to end out the race. A couple of green flag pit stops as well to mention. After a rocky start to the show, they really cleaned it up.
Yeah, they really cleaned it up, Peter, and we had what we set out to have, and that was a great battle for the win, and some talented race car drivers battling for this eighth and final Monday Night Thunder Stay Tuned Sports race this season. And Peter, if you and I were betting before the race, I would have said, yeah, it's probably going to be one of these guys just showing up for a one-off like J.D. Laird or Matt White. But we forgot about Ben Izinga. Ben Izinga has won plenty of races here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, and he kind of snuck in the field. I didn't know he was going to be here tonight, and he walks away with the win.
That is for sure. But we do have to interview 4 drivers here tonight, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and our champion. Well, we'll get those in that order. Let's see if we can start off with tonight's 3rd place finisher, the Wild Child, Garrett, Mr. John Cannizzaro. G.
Well, Cannizzaro, you had me sweating there, bud. I thought you might pull this off, and I was getting nervous. But you come home with a 3rd place finish. Tell us a little bit about how the track raced tonight and how you wound up in 3rd.
I think I finally found a race style to suit my driving style if I can keep the right rear on the thing. Other than that, it's a little bit of a tough pill to swallow. I really wanted to win that one. Championship or not, it's congrats to Bill on that too. I'll take it. That's top 3. That sets me up for another race that we eventually probably have to go to in the future. Never raced on the track before. It was my first time on it. So I think it was good. Handled pretty good to me. You know, to run the top finally at a racetrack without burning the whole right side off the car. So I thought it was good. I'm happy with 3rd place.
Geez, I still can't believe you're using the same excuse that you're going to tracks for the first time, John. You've been racing with us, it seems like forever now, like 5 times a week, and you're still going to places you've never raced before? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, it happens. Don't worry. I'm sure there's tracks in the future too. Don't worry.
Well, John, this is the end of our season, but I'm sure not the end of this series as a whole. Just if you have anyone you need to thank for the season, you end it with a good third place finish. The floor is yours. Please do so, and hopefully we'll see you on track here in TNR again soon.
Ben Adams, the whole SimShots team, especially Jamar Dumas today, he yelled at me if I didn't shout him out in the interview because he told me to fix my steering ratio before the race. But all these guys, they help me in the voice call. I'm not the greatest on asphalt, to be honest. They keep me going straight. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here second in points, third, wherever I finished. But all of them, they do everything.
Well, John, congratulations again on a third place finish, and I can speak for everyone that says anyone that takes time out to help you deserves a statue erected out in front of the Vatican, because they are truly a saint. So congratulations, John. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll head to Peter for our second place interview.
All right.
Yeah, that is going to do it for our third place finisher here tonight, John Cannizzaro. It is now time to dial up a driver that was charging through the field there very late. The number 1 machine of Jason Gracias, who comes up just a little bit short there at the end. Jason, a very spirited effort for you here tonight. Just coming up, maybe about a second or so too short, but a strong race. Walk us through that final 10 laps. What was going through your head?
Race cars go vroom.
Well, that's a lot to control in your head. Very noisy race cars as well. Hopefully that noise didn't quite get to you there, but got loose there coming to the white flag out of turn number 4. Do you think if you hadn't have gotten loose, do you think you would have had a shot for Ben Isinger, or do you think that Cannizzaro might have just put you off when he got loose coming to the penultimate lap?
Cannizzaro got in my way, honestly. So that was the deciding factor there. If I had 2 more laps, it would have been a different story.
2 laps.
Had I run over Cannizzaro, I guess I would have been there too. So there's 2 ways of looking at this.
Yeah, definitely. They're late in the race. That can very much happen. I've been there myself as well. You waited a long time to come down pit road for the final time here tonight. What was going through your head? You got lucky one time coming down pit road. Was that kind of flashing through your mind again? Just wait as long as you could to come down pit road?
Every time I pit early, there's a yellow flag when I'm on pit road. So I'm just going to go along from now on.
Well, there you go. Jason Gracias, he's made his strategy, folks. Jot that one down. But Jason, a good season for you, all things considered, here in this particular series. And I know we'll see you again here on 3 Wide TV. Looking back, any particular races stand out to you as ones that you particularly enjoyed?
I honestly, I didn't race full time, so I really can't answer that question fairly. This race was fun. I had a blast here. Homestead always puts on a good race. From what I've seen, though, I think Ben and his team have done a great job with running the series for the season. Kudos to them. A couple hiccups in the beginning, but I think they smoothed things out as we got towards the midpoint of the season. Thanks to the sponsor, Stay Tuned Sports, for coming on board. I hope he enjoyed watching these Thunder truck races on Monday nights. I know they were a blast to do right in the midst of the holiday season to relieve some stress.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been great. Before we let you go, Jason, I know you gave your shout-outs to Ben and the team, but anyone else you want to give a shout-out to here on 3Y TV?
Yeah, thanks to Racecars for going vroom vroom. It really makes my day. And thanks to Garrett for putting this league together, giving us a platform to race on, and bringing some old friends back together. And thanks to Cam Codwell. I'm running a Cam Codwell truck. Usually I'm in Chris Darling trucks, but Cam threw this together for me last minute. This is one of the paint schemes I run in his truck series in the trucks news truck series. So go check them out too if you guys want to place to race on Saturday nights. And thanks to everyone who makes this possible. I'll see you guys when I see you.
All right, well, folks, that's going to do it with Jason Gracias coming home second here tonight. Vroom vroom, says Jason. Vroom vroom goes the race truck. Now it is time to go down to Victory Lane, where Garrett Gleason has caught up with tonight's race winner, driver of the number 17, coming back to the Total Nonstop Racing League with an absolute bang, Ben Izenga. Garrett.
Ben, you sneaky son of a gun. I thought you were gone forever. And here you show up, Homestead, Miami, far away from Canada, and you beat everyone. How the heck did this happen, Ben?
I don't know. It was unexpected. I've never run fast at this track before, and I haven't raced in 4 or 5 months. So, yeah, I'm as shocked as you are.
Well, it was certainly nice seeing you here, and it's no surprise seeing you in Total Nonstop Racing Victory Lane, and especially on the night where your teammate Bill Edwards gets to take home the championship. Like you said, you usually aren't fast here. How did the track drive from your perspective? Was there a key to getting around this place as well as you did?
I was running a bit of a different line from everyone else, and I kind of figured that the line that a lot of people were running wasn't going to work for them. And you kind of saw what happened with me and John at the end there. He kind of got slowed up by it because he ran out of tire, and I got by him. So that just kind of worked for me. That's the line I've always run at this track, and it worked well tonight. So, yeah.
Just want to talk about that finish you just mentioned there. You're battling with Cannizzaro. We from the broadcast perspective, saw Gracias was coming. Did you see Gracias coming, and did you think you were going to be able to hold him off? I mean, obviously you got the break there when Cannizzaro got sideways behind you.
As soon as he went down the pits, I checked my relative to see how far back he was, and every single lap I looked, and I saw him just slowly coming up in my mirror, and I was scared.
Well, you certainly had every right to be scared, but at the end of the day, Ben, you're the one that comes home with the win. It's always great having you here at TNR and on 3Y TV. Before we let you go, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank all my teammates at S2R. Congratulations to Bill for winning that championship. A thanks to James for running out of tires and letting me have this one. Got to thank USCRL Sim Racing and everyone who runs this league. They do an awesome job.
Well, thanks, Ben. That means a lot, and we hope to see you here again on 3Y TV and the Total Nonstop Racing League soon. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, Garrett.
All right, that's going to do it with tonight's race winner. Vroom vroom goes Ben Izenga to Victory Lane, but the driver who did the most vrooming all season long, Mr. Bill Edwards. And I say Mr. Bill Edwards because he's an old man, and we give him lots of respect as he gets an extra trophy alongside his name here in the Total Nonstop Racing Discord. Bill? Holy cow,
sir.
buddy. Victory Lane as a champion.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you did it. That's for sure. Looking back over the season, I know tonight was an interesting race, and you had to dodge some stuff out there. You had to weave out there and get yourself up there to a solid top 5 finish at the end of the night. But looking back over the season, you were Mr. Consistency, getting those strong finishes. Is there any race that you look back on and say, that's the race where my season turned around, or that's the season, that's the point of my season where I knew that it was going to work out in the end?
Last week. that was about it. Last week was my first top 5 even, so there was nothing guaranteed about any of it. I was scratching. I got in a lot of wrecks kind of early in the season there. Most of them, I was just playing it safe and trying to make it to the last couple laps, and then, I usually get spun out or, lose it or something coming to the checkered, but just trying to be consistent and trying to run as many laps as possible, I guess, is what did it for me this year.
Yeah, that was definitely very helpful at the end of the season in the number 50. And I know, Bill, we'll definitely get to see you run some more later on here on 3Y TV. That's for sure. Looking back, that's your second Total Nonstop Racing Championship. How do you feel about that?
2-time champions. Oh, that's fun. That's for sure. This was, I don't know which one I'd rather have, actually, but that SST series, the Super Stadium Trucks, is absolute blast. So I don't know. Garrett, when's that one coming around? When's the next season?
Well, that's a question for Floppy, but I think it'll be soon. Probably after the new year here. We're going to take a bit of a break and regroup as a league, because after you win a championship, Bill, I think the best thing to do is tuck our tail between our legs and go sit in the corner for a while.
Yeah, I'll tuck it into my Depends. My race diapers.
Yeah, you didn't hear it from you heard it from the horse's mouth here, Bill. Definitely really cool to have you as a series champion, and like I said, I know you'll be back here racing in the series here going forward, and looking forward to what we have here in the future on 3Y TV in the Total Nonstop Racing League. But do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out?
Peter, I have a question first.
Oh,
if you don't mind.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure.
Bill, who was that ugly guy on your pit board and your hood? He was one of the homeliest people I've ever seen in my life.
I think you probably recognize him if you look in the mirror. When you wake up in the morning, I think I just got a feeling that you wear those 3D sunglasses first thing when you get up and get moving. So, I mean, when you call the races, you got to have those 3D sunglasses on. So.
Sometimes I have those dreams too where I lose my teeth. So now that you have a picture of me missing a tooth on your hood, I think I'm going to have to be in a panic every morning when I get up and make sure that's not the case. So I always appreciate the banter you and I have, and congratulations on the championship. And I'll let you get to your shout outs now, buddy.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd like the hood paint. Doze told me that you saw the pit board too, because I put it on the pit board as well. So I thought you'd like that. But yeah, shout outs. I gotta thank you guys up there in the booth, man. This is a blast to watch back. I like having all the fun that you guys have with me being old, because I'm only 22, so I can't believe you guys lie to everybody. But gotta give a shout out to TNR here. All my S2R teammates, all the drivers out there that come out every week and make us push so hard to try to do this. And Stay Tuned Sports putting on the series this year. 3Y TV for all your color commentary. I got to thank all my friends and family that watch every week. I got to give a couple special shout outs. Geritol, Depends Racing Diapers.
Oh, dear God.
I got to give a special shout out. And this is a good one here, Gary. You should try this. Viagra. If you need help with your moderate to severe erectile dysfunction, you should try Viagra.
Yeah, but if it lasts longer than 6 hours, I'm going to have to give you a call, Bill. So send me your number via PM.
Okay, I will.
Well, folks, I think that's just about going to do it for us. No, I'm just kidding. We still have some stuff here tonight. Bill, congratulations on your championship. We'll talk to you again soon, and enjoy walking away as champion this season here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Monday Night Thunder here on 3Y TV.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, we now are going to jump over to the final race results of the final race of the season here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Monday Night Thunder Series in the Total Nonstop Racing League. And the graphic is coming up right about now. There we go. Took 2 tries. It usually does that. Ben Izenga going to be our race winner here tonight. Jason Grassi is just coming up a little bit short. John Cannizzaro in 3rd. Andrew Hillman, a solid night for him. Kind of a quiet night, but able to walk away with a top 5. Alonso Chicano, who was involved in a early accident here tonight, recovers for a top 5. Bill Edwards, our series champion, finishing in 6th with only 1 top 5 this season. Phillip Scott going to finish in 7th. Stephen Doziak in 8th. Stephen Kegman 9th, and Jamar Dumas riding out our top 10G.
Yeah, 11th place, James Lorello ran out of tires there. You heard his teammates say it. Kevin Stone, we didn't talk about him much tonight, which is good from his perspective. Usually he's involved in something. Matt White, 13th place, definitely not where I expected to see him. Just was on the wrong strategy there after spinning off pit road. Jason Shu and Mike Tellier rounding out the top 15. We have Fernando Matos. Congratulations again to his sister in 16th. Brian Bradley in 17th. Tristan Maher in 18th. I lost my place there. Lupe Gonzalez involved in an accident in 19th. And Bob Giaquinto, who told us in the chat that he parked it so he didn't wreck someone else, finishes in our top 20.
Tough night after a strong start to the race for Kyle Zimmer in the number 51 Signarama of Hollandale machine. Ben Adams, 22nd. He also parked at J.D. Laird. We had him up here in the booth after he crashed out in the opening 26 laps here tonight. Mitchell Adams finishing in 24th. Johnny Williams, 25th. Vincent Valvano in 26th. And Justin White, the out-of-race administrator here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway, the 3Y TV Championship night here in the TNR series. Definitely been a great series, that is for sure. Garrett, big shout out to our series sponsors, of course, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast for sponsoring the series. We also, of course, had Butt Kicker at thebuttkicker.com sponsor the series and their Butt Kicker Challenge. Huge shout out to the Butt Kicker. We did see a Butt Kicker Challenge winner this season. James Arello trying to go for the cash in the final race, did not get the cash, unfortunately. So that extra cash, we'll see if that rolls over to the next season. But big shout out to our friends over at thebuttkicker.com. Great place to check out something that you can add to your sim rig to add a little bit extra realism and feel to your seat and get your butt kicked with all the vibrations and all the rumbles of those butt kickers. They're really, really cool, and people have been swearing by them for now 15 plus years here in the sim racing community. So go check them out. Other series sponsors that we really want to give a big shout out to, of course, Sim Shots, who take the pictures after every single race. You'll see those on Facebook. If you're following the Total Nonstop Racing League Facebook page, Thornton Graphix, Dunn, Raceway Park, the indoor off-road RC track in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. We'll see them here coming up soon. Signarama able to sponsor a couple of these races. Bagcraft sponsored a race this season. Of course, the Mason-Dixon Esports Racing team also sponsored a race. Big shout out to Mason-Dixon Esports and the Mason-Dixon Cornhole Group. A lot of people able to come together and put together a great product for everyone here to watch on 3YTV. And of course, thank you to everyone in the chat who's been along all season long. It has really, really been great. Garrett, is there anything that I'm forgetting before you put a wrap on the Monday Night Thunder Truck Series?
Well, Peter, I wanted to say another thank you to Stay Tuned Sports for helping us out here, Peter. And I think it's most important that we thank you for putting your time into this league and helping us broadcast these races, because we wouldn't be able to do it without you. I have an absolute blast working with you in the booth. It's an honor, and I hope we continue to do this for years to come, hopefully. Maybe not necessarily as much as we do it, but I can't wait to see what's in store for Total Nonstop Racing. I hope everyone sticks with us. It should be a blast.
That it will. And folks, until we meet again here in the Total Nonstop Racing League on 3YTV, have a good night, have a good holiday season, and we'll see you again. Stay safe and all that good stuff. See ya!